Sometimes I feel that our pain tolerance or our tolerance for what is not okay has gone so high up, which means that whenever we see someone in pain, or even ourselves in pain, or the people around us in pain, our tolerance for that pain being normal has gone so high up that we have started to completely dismiss it. I feel that when we are suffering, when we are going through something, all we can think about is no one is with me and nobody can see it and nobody can understand it. But when our lives are doing okay and somebody else is going through it, and somebody else is going through an episode where they just say that maybe they are not, and maybe they are not happy, sometimes the response we get is, but nobody is happy, but nobody is fine, so it's okay if you're unhappy. I think everybody is unhappy, no? So you just distract yourself, or find a hobby, or do something, or build something, or find something to do, because nobody is happy, right? And we have normalized pain and unhappiness to such an extent that we were already so alone, and now we have become even more lonely, because nobody listens to listen anymore. They listen to pass judgment, and this might be your experience as well. We don't need to cast judgment on the other people about what they're going through. They're not coming to us to ask for validation or the authenticity of their own feelings. They're coming to us because they're going through a tough time and they want an empathetic ear. Somebody who will not solve anything for them, because most people are able to solve their own problems. And sometimes I think, why is this tolerance so high? Why is it so high? And I see the same thing everywhere else. I see the same in the content we consume. I see the same in the food that we eat. Anything that we are consuming has such a high pain tolerance. When we put on the TV, or we ask our friends for recommendations on what to watch, they'll recommend to us things that might jar a young child when the child is watching it. If the child was watching the same kind of content that we are watching, which they will in 10 years, 15 years, would we be comfortable with that? Would we want that to be their experience? Where the more I watch content these days, the more I'm seeing that it is about breaking people down. It is about normalizing fear and pain and apathy and just mental violence. I won't even say physical, all kinds of violence. The food that we eat, it's so overwhelmed with spices and oils and so many things. It's like our tongues and our palates and our brains, we have become desensitized to what is naturally filled with taste, or filled with feedback, filled with sensations. It's like we're being trained to think that pain is normal. That's why we can't understand when somebody else says they're unhappy, because everybody is unhappy. What? Isn't everybody unhappy? No. What is the need to be unhappy? Who told you? Who told you that unhappiness or sacrifice or suffering, all these things were positive traits? Do they sound like positive traits, first of all? Our tolerance for pain has been made high slowly over the years through what we eat, what we do, what we see, and we're not even noticing it. That is also why we are overwhelmed by small things. When our children start to cry or when they throw a tantrum, it's because we are already overwhelmed. You might say, oh, the tolerance is high, so how are we overwhelmed? Because our brain has so much information and so much toxicity. Our bodies have so much toxicity that we are already running on overwhelm. I thought about going to a movie, watching a movie, just to give myself a break, and I saw 3 horror movies being released in the same week. I'm not saying something is wrong and something is right. But have you seen the content these days? Have you seen the kind of series that are being made? Have you seen the content that is being picked up and being displayed? And now it's not about right or wrong. They are selling what people are buying. They're not doing anything wrong. They're businessmen. Why would they create something nobody will buy? But why are we buying it? Is it because our brains have become, our feelings, our bodies have become so numb that we just cannot sit with anything that doesn't occupy our brain quickly? We need so much aggressive and pulling and basically, the kind of content that takes over your mind and doesn't let you relax. We need that kind of content to watch. And the people who are moving beyond it, they are realizing that there's no content to watch. They are realizing that there's nothing to watch anymore, because every kind of content is playing with some kind of our fears, some kind of our lack, some kind of a place in an area that are things for us to heal, not things for us to expand on. Whether it be reality TV, they are feeding competition, they are feeding this is good, this is bad, and try to have this and not this, and lack of self-worth. That's what they are feeding on. If you go towards crime, fear, they're feeding on fear. If you go towards romance, they are feeding on our lack of self-image. They're saying you can't have this kind of a relationship because you are not this yet. Beauty industry, health industry, they are all feeding on the things that we, instead of working on ourselves, we kind of let them control us. And it's okay to, if you are somebody who's understanding what I'm saying right now, and if you are somebody who sees that this is going to be a problem 15 years from now, when our children are watching content and they are seeing this, when our children are eating food and they are eating this, then what do we do now? First thing we need to do is we need to give our minds a break. We need to give our brains some time to rest. We need to tell our bodies that we are not in a panic situation. We are not at a war right now. Nobody is fighting. Everything is calm. Everything is fine. We can relax. Okay? Because the content we are watching, the food that we are eating, is telling our bodies that we are at a constant war. That's why we need to eat all this. And that's why we're watching all this. The body doesn't understand what is fake and what is real. It takes in what is our experience and assumes it to be reality. So, but at the same time, there is a waking up that is happening. There are a lot of people, like if you will start going into the genre of, let's say, romance, there are a lot of countries that make dramas like Korean dramas that are made Now, I'm not saying the whole community is doing right or this community is doing wrong, but there are so many aspects of what they make is so natural and so human that so many people are gravitating towards that right now. And why is that? Because we have not completely lost our sensitivity. We just need to reawaken it. And that can be done through consciously choosing what we are consuming, whether it is through our mouths, our eyes, our brains, whatever input that we are putting in. Not only is it damaging our body and our reality, it's messing up with our own reality that we are trying to create. If we constantly let ourselves believe that we are in a war-like state, how is it a big surprise that things are at unrest? Because all of us are focusing on the same thing. We can't normalize aggressive, violent, and jarring experiences and call them freedom of speech. That is not freedom of speech. If anything, that is a lack of artistic expression. If you are an artist and if you need to make jarring things to get a reaction out of people, you've missed the point. You have missed the point. That means you're not very good. You are not very good. If you need to shake people awake by throwing things at them, which will haunt them when they sleep at night, you are not very good. I'm sorry. If you were, you could make things so beautifully and so in such an aligned way. And I'm talking about all kinds of genres right now, though I should not. But I'll give you an example. I was hearing about this movie, and this movie did really well. And when I tried to watch it, I couldn't watch it. Not because I'm weak. Nobody who knows my life would say that I'm weak. I just could not watch it because I thought, why do this to my brain? Like, this is this guy's project. He's made it. He's done it for himself, for his own goals, for his own mission. He's not doing a public service. Yes, he came up with the content. Yes, okay, it might have done well. Good for him. Why should I damage my brain for it? Why follow the crowd? Why do we keep doing what everybody else is doing and then saying that we are all facing the same problems? Won't we? Won't we? If we are all doing the same things, won't we get the same results? Who are we trying to copy? Is there a one master copy that we are trying to copy? Who says this is the right kind of fashion, this is the right kind of food, this is the right kind of content? Who says it? I used to really force myself into watching these superhero movies, and some of them were okay, but most of them were like absolutely bizarre, like starting with the same thing, ending with the same thing, and just some humor, some intellectual comedy, okay, understood. But beyond that, it just same thing over and over again, and we have to watch it because it's cool. Then I realized I'm dealing with not overgrown. I'm dealing with children. These are being made for people who have not grown up. Over and over again, yes, the part of the heroics is great. The part of, grandeur is great. The part of fighting for what is right is fantastic. But at the same time, forcing yourself to like the same thing at the same time, how does that make sense? Would it be an interesting world to live in if we all looked alike, if we all believed the same things, if we all did the same things, if we all peaked at the same time, had the same kind of kids? I think most of us would just be in severe depression if that were the case. It's the variety, the different experiences that people go through that make life interesting. And that's what's interesting. It's not the gore, it's not the drama, it's not the disgust that makes it interesting. Like, if you have to go deeper into those kinds of places to make a lot of money, then I'm sorry, you're not very good. You're not very good. and you will not do well in the long term. You see the kind of musicians that have written beautiful music, soothing music, music that heals the world. Or you think about authors who've written beautiful books, books that feed the world, books that make the world a better place, give people hope, give people aspiration. Two different ways of making the same kind of money. But what gives you more inner peace? There are people, let's say in the food business, there are people who are loading up on everything and they are giving people what they want because their palate needs lots of oils, lots of spices, lots of this, lots of that. And then there are other people who are saying farm grown, grown in the backyard, made the same day, and no spices, no extra this, no extra that. Two kinds of ways of working. Same industry. Who's doing better for their mental peace? And you might say, but they don't make so much money. They will in the long term. They will in the long term. Because they are trying to benefit somebody else. They are putting somebody else's needs as more important than them. That's why restaurants keep coming up and keep shutting down. Because what they serve is not that great. It's just the newness, the ambiance, the feel of the place. And then people are, after some time, they're like, I've already been there. So you've already lost the experience. If ambiance was all that you were serving, expect it to shut down. But the people who have maintained, on their original or on their beliefs or on their ethics, run for years and years and decades and decades. And people go there and people say, no, the food there is very good. Like, don't just go to the neighbor, they have the same name. But don't buy from them, buy from them only. Or people will start to compliment them or laud them in the public, and they'll just start to say, always they order from there. They never order from anywhere else. Like, the kind of food they present or the food they kind of give to other people, it's always from them. Like, they never compromise on quality. People, that's how people talk about people who promote these businesses. Because it's so important for them. And aren't we all fed up of being sold horrible things in the guise of them being something, beautiful or giving or natural? Like, aren't we tired right now? That's why businesses are not doing so great, because everybody is just tired of being pitched something else and being delivered something else. I ordered these paintings for my daughter, like these paint by color kind of paintings. And this was an Instagram thing. Somebody was selling through Instagram, and what they displayed and what they actually shipped, there was a huge difference. And I went to their page and I saw there were 15 followers. See, now you can't complain that you only have 15 followers if your main line of work is making people distrust you. That's not how it works. We have to, going back to the feeding our brains and our bodies the right things. It's not just for the welfare of the community, it's for our own selves. Do we want to become so desensitized to everything because of the way we consume anything, that we lose the ability to be empathetic towards anyone? That we can't see pain or understand people's pain anymore because we have loaded our body with so much toxicity that toxicity has become normal now. And if somebody feels that, this is somebody, like, let's say I am targeting somebody right now and I'm saying, you do this. No, it's happening all over in the world, so it's kind of natural to fall into it. But at the same time, it's also important to rise above it and realize that it is a choice. And if it's a choice that I've made till today, today I'm going to stop it. And today I'm going to take back my power, because they are not the brand, I am the brand. I don't buy what they sell, I buy what I want to buy. Whether it is in terms of food, it is in terms of content, it is in terms of anything that we consume that is around us, whether it be just relationships. If somebody just keeps on bringing toxicity to your life or has no empathy or understanding for who you are, cut them out of your life. Who cares? These people have enough people who are working for image management, or people who are worried about how people will perceive them. They have enough people, they have the whole world to please. You can cut them out, you can restrict your access, you can move away from them so quickly and so fast, and trust me, a month later they won't even remember who you are, because they are never working for their own selves, they are working for approval, for validation. So anything that brings any kind of toxicity to you, just understand that it's that you are doing yourself a disservice. You don't have to promote these brands or people or any kind of entity. It's not a service that you have to provide them. Your energy and your presence is so valuable that you watching it can make something a success or a failure. You, if you know a place is not doing great, just resist. At the same time, let's not jump into the cancel culture so much. Like I understand when there is a need to speak, and I understand when there is a need to break the silence. It's very important, kind of what I'm doing right now, right? But at the same time, to disregard and publicly put down anything and everything just because we don't agree with it, at the same time, is not how we need to exist as humanity. We don't need to exist by cutting down somebody else and saying something is right, something is wrong, and this is okay and this is not okay. Because just move away from it. If you disagree with it, just don't do it again. If you disagree with it, remove your presence from it. Okay, but don't put, because when you cancel something, it gets more attention. So if you really disagree with it, remove one person from the audience. Just remove one person from the audience. Remove your presence. Your presence is enough. You don't need to take a herd, a whole crowd out of it. Because what will happen is that it'll get so obsessive. This removing and this punishing people will get so obsessive that a day will come when somebody will want to say something that is for the benefit of everyone, and it might not be what everybody wants to hear. And we'll go back to the times when people were penalized for speaking their truth. It's okay if we don't understand something, it's okay if we don't agree with something. At the same time, barging in and shutting things down and showing violence against violence is not the solution. You cannot lose your own mental peace and your own capacity because of someone else. That is like handing them your power. That is like saying, here is my remote, please do with it what you will. Press the right buttons and I'll react for you. Right? Don't give somebody else your power. Just remove one person, just remove yourself from it. You are enough. Your energy is enough. If you remove yourself, more than enough. We only have to heal ourselves. We only have to better ourselves. We can't make everything into a violent battle kind of a scenario. We can't do that to ourselves, and we can't do that to others. We don't fight violence with violence, because both are not good for our brains. It's not good for our bodies. So what do? We remove our presence calmly from situations. When you react to something, you add fuel to fire. If you want to shut something down, just leave. Okay? Another thing we can do for ourselves is to allow ourselves to open our minds, allow ourselves to understand and see things beyond how they are being shown or depicted, because most things are not how they are being depicted. It's very important, very essential for us to use our own capacity in understanding the world around us. Otherwise, we will be 80-year-olds, 90-year-olds who will be just sitting with ourselves and thinking, where did the time go and I didn't do anything that I wanted to and I don't feel happy. Where did the time go? Why didn't I focus on myself? It's very important to sit with ourselves and decide for ourselves what is right for me, what is good for me, not for somebody else. Give yourself a break. Give yourself a break. You don't have to be fighting everything, everyone all the time. Okay, calm yourself. Just sit with yourself and work on ourselves. Our only job on this planet is to evolve as a soul. And all these experiences that are coming to us, they are just stepping stones for us to get there. So whatever rattles you, whatever makes you angry, is teaching you where to work on. It's teaching me where I need to work on. Just grab onto the lesson and leave the experience. Don't worry about the experience. What happened? Why did they do this? This happened and that happened. I've deviated, but I just felt like it was important to mention. Being kind to yourself with everything. All of it is consumption, even the things that you do to yourself. We need to sit with ourselves and let our minds observe where we are, what things are coming up, what is bubbling up, what is coming up for us to fix or to see. And if you think you can ignore it, you can't, because we'll always keep getting pushed, especially if you asked for yourself to become something bigger than you are, especially if your dreams are bigger, especially if your aspirations are bigger than you are, especially if you want a better future for yourself. Then you will get these pokes, and then you will get these nudges to just look deeper. What do I need to improve? And the first thing we need to do is just not add more things onto us. Okay?